that life is weird, especially our government. But I don't talk too much about our government. But one thing I just read a post that said that we are private citizens and the government should know nothing about us, right? We should be know nothing about us, but we should know everything about them. Because when you decide to become a public servant, the master needs to know how they can trust the servant, you know what I'm saying? So when you have a situation where it's like, we're going to this thing and we have our government agents and they're going out doing stuff, I'm convinced that they have no fear of the people. Not saying that any call to action or any violence or anything like that, but one of the things is that originally, when our government was made, it was made, to honor the people. It was to get away from the tyranny of the previous government that they were part of. And, I'm beginning to wonder if we even really broke free from Great Britain, because we're so much in love with the monarchy and all that stuff, and then the matriarchy, I guess, because when it was Queen Elizabeth for so long. Yeah, my friends, today I am here, and I just finished doing like a whole bunch of stuff today. And so I just wanted to say, I'm just really glad to be able to be here today and to be able to talk with you. It has been one of those weeks, man. It's been a crazy week, but one of the things I think was awesome was the fact of the matter that we had so many things happen. We went to the zoo, right? I had 3 sculptures I had to make. So I made, one was a gremlin, one was a leopard gecko, and one was a axolotl, right? Axolotl. And so what that means is that one was a water creature, and one was a water creature, one was a reptile, like a lizard, and one was a gremlin, which is kind of like a reptile. But for the most part, though, what happened, hit a bump. What happened was the situation was I took the artwork to the zoo yesterday. We went to the zoo, and here in New York we have a thing called the Bronx Zoo. And the Bronx Zoo happens to be one of those places, my friend. Happens to be one of those places where you can actually go and see the animals, and you can go on for free on Wednesdays. But to go on Wednesdays, you have to kind of register on Monday. So you have to kind of have advanced thought and advanced knowledge to be able to know that you're going to go ahead and schedule your day when you're going to go ahead and prepare to go to the zoo, right? So what happened with my family and I, we decided to go to the zoo. So that required having to work it all out, all the plans, and pay all of our bills. We had to make sure all our bills were paid because I had to take the day off yesterday so we can actually go. You love the zoo? I love the zoo. We love the zoo. I love it so much. I wanted to work at the zoo. I told people before that I wanted to work at the Bronx Zoo, and it was long story why it didn't happen, but we went to the reptile house yesterday, and it was wonderful, my friends. It was really wonderful to go to the Bronx Zoo. And when I was there, I took out a couple of the sculpts, all right? And I have a video of it I'm going to show you guys, but I want to make sure that people receive their sculpture before I actually do that. So anybody who saw the videos from yesterday, right? You saw when we saw the bear, and the bear was really cool. It was actually really cool to see the big brown bear, because that was the first time at the zoo I've ever seen. They had three bears, right? That were there. And one of the things was really cool. They had 3 bears. We're waiting for Goldilocks. My kids are like, "Where's Goldilocks? We see 3 bears, but we don't have the Goldilocks." But they were the big bears. And we were the big brown bears, so they're amazing. And we also went to the reptile house and saw all these cool reptiles. And so I showed you our lizard we had named Barb. Barb is our bearded dragon that we have at home, and so she's a really beautiful lizard too. She was a rehome pet back in 2020. One of my friends who was following me on Instagram know that I like lizards and dinosaurs and stuff, right? So they had a bearded dragon that they were going to get rid of, and it was a long story as to why they decided to get rid of Barb, but we call her Bulma before that, but we call her Barb, and because her name is a Barbatus Amphilobolus barbatus is her Latin and Greek name, so or her Latin name. And so what happens is, we said, called her Barb. Barb. Anyway, so long story short, I took a picture of that, and then we went to the museum, to the zoo, and I was looking to see if there's any bearded dragons. They had no bearded dragons there, but in the gift shop they did. And so it was so they had 3 bears, and they had a lot of lizards and a lot of cool things. So I took a ton of pictures. I'm going to turn into a video for you guys to see a little later. I didn't take a lot of video because I didn't have that much video space. I try my best to make space on my phone. This phone here is already bingo for space, so that's what happens. So yeah, so after that, so we went there, good time, went to the park. There's mulberries, right? And mulberries is something that you can actually eat here in the city, right? Mulberries, and because I do masking tape art, I could able to make stuff. I could make pouches and book bags and containers. So it was last year we made a container and we had it. It was really good. This year we didn't. I didn't make any containers because I was just so overwhelmingly tired from the last couple of days, because I got the order last Wednesday to make some sculptures, right? So on Wednesday sculpture, I had to make one. Thursday, I had an on-the-spot sculpture that I decided to go the extra mile with, and I decided to paint it and make it good. And then the customer gave me extra money because of the fact that he said you went the extra mile with the art. And so after that, I had a couple of stuff that I shipped out to some of my friends. I have a couple of friends of mine who purchased some one of her friends, she purchased a dog from me. She asked me to remake her dog, and then so I was able to make some other artwork for her as well. And so that's why I posted on my YouTube, my Instagram. If you go to my Instagram, you can see some of the artwork that I posted of her. I sculpted her for one time we were at a body painting event together. We had a body paint event back in 2022, and I think 2022. Yeah, 2022, because it's 23. Yeah, 2022. And then so that's why I met her. She's Reina76. A shout out, Artists Unite. The next one too was another friend of mine. I made a leopardess. I turned her into a leopardess. She asked me to do that. Because making the sculpture. You saw me in the video, right? And so it happens that same sculpture, I turned it into a leopardess. I'll send you a video of that too, so you guys can see that. And so that was something there. Next one was the gremlin. Somebody asked me to make gremlin sunny. And I made a video of that. So I have that on my members channel. I have the entire video of how I made Sunny and how I made the leopard gecko and how I made the axolotl. It's going to be on my members channel. So definitely look into my members channel. It's not expensive, not too expensive to be part of that. I think it's like $2 or $3 a month. I'm not sure. But for the most part, though, my Patreon, if you want to learn lessons how to do all this art sculpting art that we do, my Patreon is only $5 a month, and you can learn as much as you can for a month how to do all the sculpting stuff I do. And then on this Saturday, we're going to be doing the Lewis Latimer house. I'll be teaching at the Lewis Latimer house. I'll be teaching how to do twist tape, and that's going to be free if you want to attend that. So that's in Lewis Latimer. Definitely, I heard they're all sold out in terms of the tickets. The tickets are all sold out. There's no more space left, but I still encourage you to come and see, because what happens, there's always space. So come and see. And definitely, also there's going to be a lady there. Her name is Hillary Banks. Hillary Banks from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The one who played her real name is Karen Parsons, Karyn, Karen Parsons, and she's going to play Hillary Banks, Carlton's sister, in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So definitely, if you want to, you guys can come to see it. That's going to be on this Saturday. I'm going to be there, and I'm kind of contemplating whether I should make something for her, because I really think she's really cool. But for the most part, though, I'm just kind of low on tape, and low on tape, low on money, and just kind of like trying to figure out what the best thing to do. So definitely, if you guys want to send me a super chat, that'd be great too. If you want to do that, that'll help me out a lot, because we're almost to the point where we're about to get the threshold in our super chat. But if you can't, I understand that too. But for the most part, though, yeah, you can support us, and just I'm trying to get some sponsorships and everything too as well. I'm just trying to drive home today, right now. So yeah, I'm about 2 miles from home right now. Anyway, long story short, it has been a day. So today I went to Roadie. And so I had to mail out all the packages. Ooh, hit him up. Oh, yeah. So I had to mail out all the packages, right, from the stuff that we I have to wait. This bus and I can't play chicken. This bus will win if we try to play chicken. He will. Yes. Okay, now I'm going to go right here, and then I'm going to pass, and then there he goes. Cool beans. All right, so here it goes. So for the most part, that what we have is like my situation is I was able to mail out. I made out one yesterday or the day before, and two today. I was gonna mail out yesterday, but it's like I had this feeling I need to just take all the art to the zoo and just kind of walk around the zoo with it, because why not, right? Why not? So you'll see some of that artwork as soon as I know they've received it, which should be in a couple days, probably by Friday. Well, by tomorrow. Hopefully they receive it. And they do. I'll start posting some stuff. You'll see on my Instagram as well. Instagram is where you want to see my gallery stuff. You want to see me on my gallery and things, you can see Instagram. Or you can go to Real Gallery, and you can see us at the galleries too, by the way. You can also see us at the Lewis Latimer house. They have a sculpture, some of our sculptures there as well. And I'm just excited. This is really cool stuff. I'm doing that art that not too many people know about, and that people do, and because of that, it's a lot of fun. And it kind of changes the mood and the environment. Every time somebody walks up and they see one of the pieces that we make, it just makes them so happy. So last week, my sons and I, because I have a family of 6 of us all together, and what happened? My sons went with me to my two boys. We went with me to go do the art in the park, and so what that means is that my son they make their own art too. They do Pokemon and Spider-Man, and they make it, and then so what we do is that we go and we sell it in the park. So they're not as attached to it as I am. I'm really attached to my art. I think it's kind of a maybe childhood trauma I went through or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, with them, they are not connected to it. When they make something, they're easy to let it go. As for me, I am making sure I run people over, because that's never good. Anyway, so what happens is like when I have in my situation, I have it where it's like I've always had stuff that I liked, and then I remember I had my He-Man got stolen from me, and I got a bootleg He-Man, right? And then my mom was like, "That kid stole your He-Man," and he had a bad shield and it was damaged and stuff, you know. Whereas like so now I can make my own stuff. I can make my own He-Man if I want to, right? Which is great. And so, but the thing was for me, it was like I was making gremlins, and I had a gremlin I made when I went to my home country. I remember when I was 12 years old, I made a gremlin, and it was out of a paper and velvet and wires, and it was really cool. Really cool stuff. So definitely, if you like what you hear, and please give me a thumbs up. Just give me a thumbs up, please. That's always good. I'll ask for a thumbs up because, like, because I enjoy just talking and being able to share some of the stuff we're going through. But definitely, you help me out when you give me like a thumbs up or like even a comment in the chat. That gives me something to talk to and respond to. They're not just talking to myself as I'm driving home, because that's kind of like almost crazy. But no, I'm not crazy, I promise. So anyway, what happens is like so what the most part of this, like I would make my own stuff, and I remember making Legos. I went through but just to kind of go back to the Roadie, right? Well, I don't know which one do you hear about? Hear about my Lego path or my Roadie path? What I did to the Roadie? I mean, I can talk about both of them. I'll tell you quick about Roadie, so get that out of the way. So Roadie today was interesting. I did 4 orders, and the 4 orders brought me from the place where I went to, which is like, here's advice, by the way. Whenever you do like a Roadie order, okay? If you're gonna do Roadie order or pretty much any order, if they're not gonna pay you for parking or not gonna pay you for crossing the bridge, do not take that order, okay? I don't care how much money they throw at you. Honestly, I mean, it's pretty much depends on how much money. I mean, because you always pay for the toll or something like that. But for the most part, though, you want to be reimbursed for the money that you spend. I mean, they're not paying for my gas, not paying for my insurance, not paying for my upkeep, not paying for my repairs, not paying for my coolant or like my antifreeze, Well, she's kind of coolant saying it twice, but my transmission fluid, not paying for any of those things, right? So the least they can do is if they're gonna make me cross a bridge, right? A pay bridge here in New York, which is like, it's expensive, especially when you leave New York to go into like, Hoboken or something. Then what happens is that you are in a situation where you're going to pay out of your pocket, and you hope they'll pay you back. So just let you know that I haven't been paid back from the times I went over the bridge. I went over several bridges. I made a big stink about it for Memorial Day, and I haven't been paid back from that yet. I still haven't been paid back from that. They gave me $5 for the parking. That's what they gave me, and it was from a customer who paid me the $5. So now you have the situation where it's like I still have bridge money, but it was $15, $16 of bridge money they haven't paid me back yet. I don't even know who to complain to at this point. I talked to customer service. They took a note on it, but so I'm just complaining to the universe and saying, if you ever work for Roadie, don't take a bridge trip that requires you to have to pay. Don't take a parking meter trip that requires you have to pay out of your pocket, because what happens is that they're not going to reimburse you, or not right away even. And so if they're not reimbursing you right away, you're wasting your money, and you're gonna be like, you're paying out of your pocket to do a gig. I mean, you're already paying out of your pocket to do a gig. At least with DoorDash, they'll give you like money back every time you spend. They give you 10% or something like that. But Roadie, they don't really care about that. So anyway, so I did a trip today. I had to go to the parking place, and it was $5 to park. I was there for less than 15 minutes, but it's still $5 to park because I don't know reasons. And there's nowhere else to park that's there. And it's like it's four things I had to go deliver. So I went to deliver it, got that sucker done, and I was all the way out in Brooklyn. I thought, man, I'm gonna go hang out in Shirley Chisholm Park, But I'm like, I can't just go and chill at no park and walk around no park. I got stuff to do, man. I got bills to pay, I got a family to feed, right? So I'm like, I gotta go find me another job. So what happened was that I started looking for some other work, and there was a couple of really sweet deals. Like, that thing about Roadie, you get a chance to see up ahead what you're gonna cost you, but you have to factor in also your traffic. Because early in the morning you can travel a little bit better. When it gets later in the afternoon, like right now it's about 6:25, you end up in a situation where you're just kind of like, you are trying your best to try your best and to get your stuff done as quick as possible. Then you got stuck in traffic. So here am I driving back on the Jackie Robinson, driving back from Brooklyn. I went all the way from like LaGuardia Airport, right? All the way to like, Shirley Chisholm. If you know what that is, you know how far that is, right? It's about 15 miles out. And what happens is, like, as you're going over there, you have to deal with traffic, and there's the Belt Parkway. There's 3 different types of traffic you got to go through. Anyway, so for the most part, though, you go through that, and then you get your stuff done. And I went to a new Best Buy today, and I was really happy for that. And then I was able to get a big old TV. And the last order I did before I'm coming home right now is I delivered a television. And it was sad because you're hoping they would give you a tip, Yeah, they didn't give me a tip or nothing like that, because some they give you cash tips, and they usually give you bigger tips whenever you get like do a TV or something like that. So what happened? They gladly took the TV, and they were telling me before how this has been trying to deliver. So they told me some little notes there too. They said that some people have been trying to deliver this the TV, right? Delivering the TV for some time. And what happens is that they keep arriving either when the person's not there, and had to bring the TV all the way back to the Best Buy, because that's what happened. Like, remember that time my video? You see my video? One of the videos I had a thing where I went all the way to Manhattan and had to bring the TV back from Manhattan back to the Best Buy here in Queens. And I don't understand that either. If there's Best Buys in Manhattan, why do they have to order a TV from Manhattan or a TV to Manhattan when you live in another place? For example, I've had that happen too. There's like people all the way out, like in West Islip. You know, West Islip is like almost like 40 miles out, right? So for me to go from here to West Islip is 40 miles, or 40 miles, at least almost 80 miles round trip, right? And there's like a 40 Best Buys on the way over there. I mean, that they could actually ship. Well, I don't want to get rid of the whole Roadie order thing. I'm not really complaining about that. My complaint is that, there's like, I remember one time I was doing DoorDash, and there was a guy, he lived right across the street from a Burger King, right? He lived right across the street from a Burger King. And so I guess maybe that's the way the algorithm works, make it worth my while, I guess. But dude lived across the street, literally across the street, like literally. Like, I mean, you take a stone, you throw it, and he lived at, there's the Burger King. Like, Burger King across the street. You could tumble across, you could do a cartwheel across the street and land in the Burger King, right? That's how close it was. Why did it have me picking up a Burger King that's like 3 or 4 miles away? I don't know. So anyway, I'm almost home. It's been a long day. I gotta find myself some parking. And these people are walking, and I gotta take this turn. And okay, I'm gonna take this turn, y'all. When I take this turn, I gotta be totally focused. So just, I'm gonna let you go for a second. Just hold on. I'll make this turn. I gotta make sure I don't. See, left turns are the most number one accident. Okay, so I drive while distracted. There's another one too. But for the most part, though, try not to look at the phone while you're driving. So, I'm making a left turn, baby. Made the left turn. Driving into the sun. Gotta put on my visor so I can see. See, whoever put this stop sign whoever put a stop sign right here on the crest of this hill is a transmission killer. They probably work for the transmission companies to repair your transmission. Because when you have to stop on a hill, you have to like stop your car to 0, and then from there you have to kind of like resume it. So it's kind of like you do a lot of little transmission bites, All right, you leaving? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Oh, praise God. Got parking. Where it says no parking. I'm gonna get some parking. I hope I can park there. I mean, it says no parking. But I mean, it's like not put too many lives there. It's kind of one of those things where it's like you just kind of, So I'm gonna get this parking spot, which is great. I'm gonna sit right here and just park, and then we can talk. I don't know why it says no parking. There's nobody who lives there. It's just fun, I guess. I don't know. Nobody lives in this house. It's an abandoned house. So we just park better. And this place says no parking. All right, so let's see if I can park just a little bit better. All right, so this took a perfect timing, huh? Well, it's gonna be hard for me to do some sculpting in the sunlight, but maybe I'll do some sculpting for you. Okay. Well, you know what I could do? I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just live. I'm gonna do a live. I'm gonna do a live sculpting right now, and you guys can see me sculpt a live person. Hillary Banks. Maybe. That. Let's see how long it's going to take. And then we can just talk. Please talk to me in the chat. And talk to me in English, because I don't know how to speak Russian. My Russian is not that great. My friend. So please. Привет. Katala. Grisha. Katala. Хорошо. So my Russian's not that great. Okay, so. Praise God. How badly did I park? Okay, I parked really well. Thank you, Jesus. All right, so now I'm in the sun. And as I'm in the sun, let me get some tape out. See, I got just a few rolls of tape left. This is a really thin tape, and I don't usually use thin tape too much. I use the thick tape and the thick tape. See, so I had Axel with me today doing deliveries. Axel. And then also I had Lizardo. So, booyah! Lizardo and Axel were delivering with me today. And so I've been working on the camera for some time now. I messed up his eyes yesterday, and then but anyway, I'm not sure if you can see it because the sun is like right on, well, I mean, you can probably see it, but I can't see it. There it goes, the sun's right on, so I'm just working on the camera. Gonna give him the cool colors and stuff like that. He glows, by the way, he glows in the dark. And then, the tape. Now, I'm gonna drink some water, because I had me a fun-filled day of just driving like a madman. Doing art and doing work, and just here's some water I'm drinking. You know, by the way, you shouldn't leave these bottles of water in your car. It's called PET1, right? And it's polyethylene tetra something or whatever. And what happened? Long story short, it's not good for the sunlight. Even though it's good for holding water, it doesn't really leach. It's not supposed to be for when you have the sun. There's certain things about recycling that you can know about, and I just fell in love with all the details about that. Let me tell you. Let me drink some water real quick. Shut up, drink. Okay. Hey, Jesus. Alright. So, here we go. What I'm gonna do, you know, I hate when people come and they start putting their music because then I have to mute it and I can't have it because I have a competition and I'm gonna get copyright stricken every time there's music playing, you know? So, I'm gonna have to just, like, change the music. So this is what we got here. This is the tape. And I'm gonna have to close the windows for a little bit just so that the music doesn't like get me like in trouble. So anyway, this is a piece of tape, and now I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the magic of Greg Valentine. And so you can do this looking into the sunlight, having the sun pour into your face. Now, why does this guy have to come over here and like go by that tree, not even a tree, and go pee in the grass? What's up with that, huh? You know, this New York City is really gross. Let me tell you, man. Sometimes there's some really gross stuff that people just go and do. I mean, like, sometimes I know when you gotta go use the bathroom, you gotta use the bathroom. And there aren't that many places you can go, you know? But for the most part, though, if you can find a bathroom, go to the bathroom. It's very important that you do so. Long story short, yes. So, oh, you turned off the music. That means I can breathe again. I had to close the window for a second there. So, here we go. So I'm just kind of like working. You see my fingers working, right? Fingers are moving, and this really helped because we say the algorithm when you have your fingers and you have smiles and this stuff. You smile. You have the algorithm works in your favor because of your hands and everything like that. So that's really good. Once again, please give me a thumbs up in the chat, or in a thumbs up if you like this video. Because why? Because it's like that helps me out a lot with regarding the stuff that we do. Now. And you're probably wondering this is what I'm doing, right? Well, I was saying before that I was actually going to contemplate whether or not to make a person, because this Saturday I'm going to meet, what's her name? The lady from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So maybe that might be cool to make something for her, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I might just chicken out and not do it, right? But maybe I might go ahead and do it too. Who knows? Just go ahead, because maybe I might not even get that close. I might be like, hey, who are you? What are you talking about? So my name is Greg Valentine. I do masking tape artwork, you know? You know, I mean, I think what the thing is really cool about this stuff is that you can really reach anybody with this, and so because of that, you get a chance to actually just meet a lot of people, and that's something there. So yeah, you know. Anyway, long story short, it's just a cool piece of artwork you can do. So yeah, so I'm just kind of like working on that and just kind of making the thing. So, anybody have any questions for me about my day, about the stuff I've done today, or I can tell you the Lego story. I gotta tell you, when I was a kid, right, I had this Lego thing happen where I had this rare piece of Lego, right, and my dad, it fell in the toilet, right? Lego fell in the toilet, and you know, like how you're supposed to kind of reach in with like a, you know, some kind of like, you know, the stuff to pick up the chicken, the tongs and stuff like that to pick up the chicken, or whatever, or some kind of fork to kind of fish it out. You don't put your hand in the poop water or the yucky water, right? So what happens is that you're actually there. So I call my parents for help, you know, and I was like, hey, Mommy, and I called them for help, and what happened was like they accidentally flushed the toilet. And when they flushed that toilet, let me tell you, when they flushed the toilet, that little Lego thing went down into the toilet. I was thinking maybe back then it was Ninja Turtles, the sewer monster. There was alligators in the sewers and stuff like that, so we didn't know about the Ninja Turtles. But for the most part, though, they wouldn't have helped me anyway because, you know, they're not real. So, but that was a real Lego piece that actually went down to the toilet, and I remember that. I was like 4 years old, y'all. 4 years old. And so all of a sudden now here am I, able to make, you know, I don't know if it's really that severe, like it's a real trauma or anything. I mean, I don't want to downplay it or nothing, but I don't want to outplay it either. If you really think about it, like you have these things where things happen. I remember that because that was like a big thing. I mean, little kids and their stuff. They get we could never find that piece again. It was one of those. It was like almost like he was like Ernie or something. Like he had like little bendable arms. He had like all these little segments in his arms. I could recreate him. I haven't like ever tried to recreate him, but for the most part though, he's one of those little characters that you look back on it, you're like, oh my word, that would be so cool. That would be so cool if you can find it, but they don't have it anymore. So I've looked all over. I've never seen that character or that design of Legos ever again. So I'm just like, okay, well, what do? You just gotta move on. That's all you can do. I mean, be hung up on something like I think about that with a Batman. I mean, honestly, Batman is a fictional character, but apparently he's just tormented. For to be tormented, he needs to get saved. He needs to put his trust in Jesus, man. Because what happens, like his whole character life is just trying to just punch crime in the face. I talked about it 100 times, but back to my Lego story, because that's more important, I'll tell you, instead of just bashing Batman again. For the most part, though, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like him. I like Batman. Batman is cool, and he's one of my favorites. However, it's like he's tormented, and he's also a criminal. So yeah. So unless he's there's no other way to be able to deal with that kind of thing, to solve that problem, because honestly, he's a criminal too. So what happens is, like, for the most part though, the whole thing with Legos, what got me into that was always trying to rebuild the flexibility of those arms. It was one of those things, you have a character and a creature. The topic? Is this topic? I don't know. The topic is that, my day, I was just kind of talking about my day, about how it's gone through the whole thing with the zoo and being able to get these sculptures done and be part of the art gallery last week and be part of the night market last week and going to be part of another night market this week and also like just doing artwork and stuff. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm just kind of trying to make sense. So in the process, I'm also like working on the sculpture while I'm talking to you guys, because this is what I do. So I've been talking while I'm sculpting. So yeah, so I have a lot of how-to videos, and that's you're gonna see that on my Patreon and also my members channel. I have a member channel, yes I do. And thank you for giving me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. So what happens is, like, which for the most part though, what happens is, like, I am going to be preparing for this. So if I can do this and get this sculpture done before I go home tonight, or before, because I don't want to. I try to like have like maybe like an hour. I try to do like an hour these videos once a week and stuff, usually on a Thursday, by the way. And so, because a Thursday is kind of like the time between time. And since I got some really nice parking tonight, and I just completed like a huge task, made a lot of money today by the grace of God. I'm able to pay my bills, so we get a chance. My family gets to eat tonight, so I'm really happy about that. We get to eat tonight, everybody. So what happens is, like, I'm just working on a sculpture on a person. And I have to go look at the picture. I have another video that's just waiting for me to show you guys. And I just want to show it to you so badly, but I have to wait for the. I always do a thing where whenever I have like a sculpture that I'm making, I try not to show it until the customer gets it first. Once the customer gets the art piece, then I feel like I'm free to share it, because I don't want to. I love the whole surprise of everything. One thing I liked about Christmas was that the people would kind of like go out their way to buy you a present and then wait for your surprise, and then they blame it all on Santa. I like that. Even though Santa's not real, we know the people buying this stuff, because I remember when I was a kid, I'd go with my mom to go buy the stuff that I wanted for Christmas, and then she'd wrap it, and I knew what it was, and I would watch the box, just make sure nobody opened it, And then they went ahead and made Christmas, a Halloween horror movie called Gremlins. During Christmas, made a Halloween movie during Christmas time, the scary horror movie of Gremlins, right? And I fell in love with Gremlins. Let me tell you, I just fell in love. Not at first. At first, I was terrified of it. It was so scary for me. I remember I was afraid to look at the ones, and the scene with them in the kitchen was forever like scary for me. But then it was like when I finally just said, you know what, enough of being afraid. I want to watch this movie. I want to still watch them. I'm going to enjoy this movie, right? And so I started like just enjoying this movie and watching this movie, and I had a good time. I really did have a good time with it. But then so when I came to watch the second movie, Gremlins 2, oh my word, that movie was so zany and so wonderful. It was so wonderful in terms of like the colors and the ideas of the director to just make all these funny and funky and Bat Gremlin and Spider Gremlin and Lettuce Gremlin or Vegetable Gremlin and Electrical Gremlin and a Lady Gremlin and a Brainy Gremlin and and a Wacky Gremlin, and then they made like George and Lenny and Daffy and Mohawk, and then they made like Gizmo, and they turned Gizmo into Rambo. I like that. I really really like that. That was a really good thing, you know. Once again, please give if you like what I'm saying, please give me a thumbs up. You know, give me a like and a share, and if you can, if you want to, you can send me like $1 and help me out with my bills if you want to. But anyway, I'll throw it out there. Anyway, so long story short, what happens is that I fell in love with that, and it was always been like a movie, and they're talking about making a Gremlins 3 movie, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't really know if they should make a Gremlins 3. Sometimes you just leave stuff alone, leave well enough alone, because sometimes when you have a situation, right, where you're kind of working on stuff, you just don't know what it's going to be like. So the first time somebody does something, they don't know what they have, and so they try and recreate it the second time, you know? They try and recreate it for the second time. And then so, I wonder. That was really weird. I just saw the sanitation police, and they were like just kind of looking at me, and I was looking at them as I'm talking on my live stream to 40 people, and I'm just saying to myself, why was the traffic police looking at me? And I'm thinking I'm in a good spot. I mean, I'm in a spot that says no parking, but there's really, if somebody lives in a spot that says no parking, there's not like there's anybody who, I just don't understand why there's even a sign that says no parking. Because when you really think about it and boil it all down, nobody lives in a house that's abandoned. So having a no parking in front of an abandoned house, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I understand if somebody has an active drive because they live there, but if the house is... You know what? I'm not even going to think about that thought anymore. We're going to other things. Back to what we were talking about before. So yeah, so when I saw the new Gremlin movie and all the different characters in it, it made me think about like how like impressive it was that they can make such a very versatile movie really about nothing, and they were in a sense making fun of Donald Trump. The whole thing with the clamp building was making fun of Trump because of clamp and Trump and clamp and Trump, and so how I Took Manhattan, it was all about like a similarity, copycat to Donald Trump. That was the thing about the Gremlins 2 movie. So yeah, it was like a Trump building, clamp building. Come on, y'all didn't see that? Anyway, so long story short, yeah, when I saw that movie, and I saw it in the theaters, my older sister, who pretty much I think about a lot, she took me to see that movie in the theaters, and I enjoyed it. I was a little kid then. I was like 1990, movie, a million years ago now. That's just a long time. So yeah, so for the most part, my sister did that. She took me to see the movie, and I blessed my heart. So I got all the cards. I have all the collector's cards from that, so I have a whole ton of those. I have the whole box set, unopened. I have the cards that are opened and unopened, because that's another thing too, by the way. My older sister, right, we had this thing where she'd tell me stuff like, Greg, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. Like, for example, I had a Voltron. I had the original Voltron, the whole series, all the die-cast iron robots, right? The one that'll cut you if it falls on your leg or something like that. Yeah, so I had that one. It's very heavy. Because, back then when they made toys, they didn't care about no child safety. They wanted to sell that thing, die-cast metal. Man, die-cast metal heavy robot. You know how hard it is to get a die-cast robot that huge? I had one. I had Voltron. I did. The original Voltron, the lions, right? The 5 lions. Black lion, red lion, green lion, yellow lion, blue lion. Together, they formed Voltron. Had the sword, had the wings, all that stuff. Didn't have any of the beasts. I didn't have all the, the razor beasts. Or, I didn't have any of those beasts. But for the most part, though, I had just the Voltron. And my sister said, Greg, you should never open it. You should keep it because it'd be a collector's item. And if I had it today, it would be worth so much money. And then I'd be sad because if I sold it, I can't believe he's gonna call me right in the middle of it. Hang up, sorry, my bro. So what happens is like, the thing is, okay, I'm gonna just have to do this right here. So this is something there, sometimes you have a situation, right, where I found this to be true too, by the way, that when you're onto something and you kind of get into a good rhythm of stuff, people call you. Right, and they call you and they're trying to talk to you. That sometimes is a kind of like the ad, but sometimes it's just kind of I don't know if it's distraction, but when you have your people call you, you're not really there. Sometimes you kind of like on a thing like I think it's some kind of waves that people generate. Like for example, I get into a zone where I'm just kind of thinking about stuff, and then I got people calling me that it's for the weirdest thing. It's like, I was just thinking about you, and then I just want to say, hey, how things going? I'm like, okay, that's good, man. I was in the middle of something, right? And then, but at the same time, though, it's like, you're kind of glad when you get a phone call. I mean, I don't know, because I kind of grew up where I had my family with me, so and I had my mom and my dad. So I'm not like, sometimes the people who need attention and stuff like that. I don't really necessarily. I mean, I thank you for your attention on my channel for watching. But it's like one of those things where it's like, if you guys were to stop watching me, I'd just invent something else to go do, right? But for the most part, though, I'm glad that you are watching. I really appreciate that because it helps me out with the long haul and the algorithm, as well as the fact that I'm getting a chance to kind of help support my family with the work that I'm doing. And when you definitely do like art, you do art and you do your stuff online, you get a chance to make it live forever. So almost like a legacy. Someone was mentioning about that that my kids can like look back and see me tell stories, and as long as YouTube is still around, years from now, you know, my kids who we homeschool, who we spend a lot of time with my kids, to which I'm so grateful. By the way, I am so grateful we had the chance to homeschool your kids. If you get a chance to homeschool your kids, definitely do that. Because definitely during the pandemic, if you were homeschooling your kids, you were already ahead of the curve. You knew how to handle the situation because you already had your kids at home with you. Many people struggled during that time because they didn't know how to handle their own children because they're so used to putting them somewhere else. I mean, you have a lot of stuff that they're doing. People working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and both my mom and dad are working. And so because of that, the kids are kind of left to the system to kind of grow up in the system. And because of that, it kind of gets kind of crazy because the system wants to make more workers. Let's see, where's the chicken and watermelon? You're doing this wrong. Chicken and watermelon. I don't know. Anyway, so for the most part, you have this thing where it's like, you have it where for the most part, though, you have this thing where I lost my train of thought for a second. What did I read that comment? Okay, so go back to what I was saying before. It was just one of those things where, if you are homeschooling your kids, you're ahead of the curve in terms of like how things are working. You're able to just go ahead and you have been training your kids for a long time. So when this thing happened, this worldwide calamity happened, imposed upon by the governments of this world, seeking unlimited power, what ended up happening was you have this scenario where it's like, for the most part, though, you are ahead of the curve because you trained your kids to be people who could actually function without having to be with teachers. Not to mention, it's like once I got through college myself, I was like I learned a lot more after college. I think that was applicable to survival. Because before that, when I was in college, it was like I went to Bible school, and then I took like to get my degree, I took a couple of liberal arts courses, and it was for the sake of getting a job after I got out of the college, because it was a certain job I was going to work at, and they said that you need to have your college degree in order to work here. So I went and did that and got my college degree, but it wasn't for that reason though. It was kind of like the reason of my dad says, Greg, you never know how life is going to go, so you definitely should work on a contingency. You should work on a contingency plan, just in case things don't work out as you think. So what ended up happening was I went back, and that's why I got a chance to meet my wife. My wife and I, we met for the first time in college, but it was like actually we met in Times Square. So we're gonna be celebrating our 22nd year of being married next week, and so that's gonna be cool. 22 years of being married, and I'm just really excited about that. The fact that we're gonna do it. It's like I'm just always mesmerized by how I'm blessed I am to have an awesome wife like Amy. And she's really been supportive for me and so many things. I mean, I couldn't do any of this stuff. I couldn't do any body painting. I couldn't do any of this art. We wouldn't able to raise our children if if it wasn't for my wife. Because I mean, like a lot of people, it's like I always had a thought. I said to myself, I wouldn't marry someone from New York City, because the New York City mindset is a different kind of mindset. You had to be outside of New York to be considered. The reason why is because the city is very limiting, right? And you need someone who's going to raise your children to think outside the box, literally think outside the box, because New York City is a box. And so when I grew up here, turn off the car for a second. When I grew up here, but I was from another country. I was born in another country, and I grew up here with a different culture. So I was never trying to be like the regular culture that I was growing up in. I was never trying to be up in the street culture, or or like gangster rap or rap or anything. I wasn't into that. I got into it later with like Christian rap, and Christian rap was so good because they were able to make a lot of really cool cool points in words, because I mean, you hear some songs, all these songs they do is repeat, repeat, repeat. When you started talking about like, we started talking about like how the we started thinking about how the words you can fit into a rap song and keep it to a rhythm. I mean, oh my word. So anyway, so when they put the words together, they put Christian rap together. The Cross Movement, 1997, the Cross Movement. They blessed my life, man. I loved them so much. And when I was back in school, everybody was in on the Cross Movement. Everybody was listening to them. So I learned a lot more. I had a couple of things I would listen to, and some people didn't accept it, but I just totally loved it. I thought it was really the greatest thing. And I remember the first album was called Heaven's Mentality, right? And it's by the Cross Movement. If you get a chance to look it up, they have the whole album is on YouTube. You can look it all up. And the Cross Movement. And what they do is that they rap about Jesus, man. They rap about Jesus. So here you have it. So you got yourself some hands. So the hands are the same length. You gotta make sure the hands are the same length. You got the hands, right? All right. So you got that. No, I don't make voodoo dolls. I don't. People always ask me if I do, and I say no. In order to make a proper voodoo doll, you need hair samples and blood and all that stuff, and I don't do that because that's darkness and stuff, and I don't want to mess with darkness. People say, "Are you making idols?" I said, "No, I'm not making idols either, because no one's supposed to worship my little masking tape creatures." And don't use the word little in any conversation piece, because little is a belittling type of thing. So yes, in my scaled art that I do, I can make anything by the grace of God, and it's not an idol. An idol is something you worship and you look to for hope, So I put myself to work. So you have this sculpture here is being made, and it's being made to celebrate this weekend's art that we're gonna do, and also maybe we'll give it to a person, And it'll also be more significant because what happens, they'll see the video that we making and be like, wow, he made that live while talking to people, while sitting in his car in the heat after he finished a whole day of working. So yeah, this is how it is, I long for the day where I can do something really cool. Somebody says, don't tell people what you're gonna do, what you intend to do. Because if you're gonna tell people what you're gonna do, they're gonna hold you to it, So I mean, it's like I listen to that and I think to myself, it'd be kind of a interesting thing, to be able to say what you're gonna do and then do it. Sometimes it's kind of not naming and claiming it, but just kind of like setting a position up and then just going ahead and fulfilling it. That's what I think is pretty significant. You can actually do something. You can do something that you plan to do by just talking about it. So yeah, so that's something there. If you, it's kind of like speaking life to your plans, But it's always Lord willing, because you never know what's going to happen. There's a verse in the Bible that says, we all boasting. It says, we should say, if the Lord wills, we shall do such and such, or go to this and this, or do this and that, right? Because all other, what do you call it? All other boasting is sin, the Bible says, because you have to really ask God for blessing, Guys are weird. What you say on things. For the most part, though, here's for the most part, though, I'm looking at this here, and I'm just thinking about like how cool it's gonna be this weekend. I'm really glad that this is an opportunity to do such a thing like this. So I am continuing. Hopefully I'll be able to make this. Let's see. I don't know what she looks like anymore. I haven't looked at a picture of her in a while. So a character from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I haven't been able to see her for a while, so I gotta look at and see what she looks like. So here's this one here. So you have this. This is like a. Right. So let's go ahead and make her more. Because you happen to see your legs, right? Your legs don't come at the bottom. Your legs come out from the side, like your hips. You see that your hips? Don't come from the bottom. They come from the side. So this is connected from the side, and then it tapers down. So it's like that, and it tapers down like that. So you have like a hip. You have the hip, right? And then after that, you have the situation where it's like you're gonna add some more muscle and details. So let's say I'm gonna go ahead and add some more details here. See, I'm almost out of tape. You see this? My tape is running low. I am down to I have about maybe a couple more rotations. I think maybe it's like 20 more rotations or so, and then I'm out of tape. So I gotta buy some tape soon. But for the most part, though, that's so cool. So today, what I did the Roadie orders, the Roadie order, I realized that you know what, that sometimes the order you get, if you can get an order that's a lot of money for a short distance, you take that right away, right? What happens is like my vehicle, I have an opportunity where it's like I can actually take a lot of different things. But for the most part, though, sometimes if they say the order is huge, it might select it and it'll warn you. So if your vehicle is too small for the order you're selecting, your Roadie order could be locked. You know, so you want to make sure that you don't like get an item that's too big or too small, because if you do, then what happens is that you are unable to take it. You're able to take it, and then they'll lock your account so that you cause a disturbance in their force. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm beginning to wonder if Roadie is actually the one that I should be working with. Because I remember, like, when I was doing DoorDash, I did DoorDash like almost 2,000 and 2,000. The exact number would be 2,129 or something like that. 2129 orders for DoorDash, right? That's 2,000 trips I've done. So in Roadie right now, I'm about to hit 300 trips, right? I think I might have hit 300 trips today. But for the most part, though, that's like, you know, I've done a lot of driving there. I'm not complaining about Roadie. I'm not going to complain about them, because when you think about it, I mean, I thank God for them because it's a little bit more transparent than DoorDash. Because DoorDash is like, you know, they have the incentives and all the different tier stuff. And, you know, I used to listen to this guy named Pedro I listened to, DoorDash. And it's like, I listened to him a lot, and he was there when he was talking about no tip, no trip stuff, you know? No tip, no trip. And I listened to that, and I remember like not taking trips and just kind of thinking, if there's no tip, then I'm not going to take it, you know? And then DoorDash kind of counteracted that by just having a situation though where it's like they made it where they lowered you have to take as many trips as possible, because they were fighting against all the people who were doing the no tip, no trip. And then after that, you have the scenario where it's like they give everybody the $29 during Christmas time, during December. They raise up the monies to $29 an hour for active time, so they'll pay you the difference. So if you make like, you know, one trip and take you an hour to do it, it's only $10, so they'll give you the distance, the difference. They'll bring it up from whatever the number is to whatever the number is to the number of like $29, right? So you're able to do that. So for the most part, that when you have that scenario in a situation, you're kind of faced with a thing where it's like you are what's the thing? You're faced with a thing where it's like, you know, you're gonna be like you're not sure exactly what you're gonna get, right? And all the games that you're playing. But now when you do Roadie, it's like, okay, at least you know exactly how much it's gonna be when you take it. The only problem is that you're not exactly sure how long it's gonna be to deliver it, and that's something there. That's a downside, I guess, of it, because you're not sure exactly how long it's gonna take, you know. And so because you're not sure how long it's gonna take, it could take longer than you think, and then eventually it doesn't become cost effective. But at least you know how much the gig is. By the way, most times I say when bosses work, they don't work per hour anyway. They work per salary, and salary is the same regardless of how many hours you work. So if you make, like, you know, you're making $200 a day or whatever, $300 a day or $500 a day, then you have to fill in exactly how much you're going to do for that. You can't break it down. You see, we who are poor-minded or scarcity-minded to call it per hours, you know. We do the per hour things. But the people who are creatives, they do it per task. So they do it per assignment. So the assignment could take, like, you know, a year to do, but you get paid that amount of money. So if you break it down into minutes, that's how much it's worth. But you can also get paid like for just accomplishing the task, you know. So when you accomplish the task, there you are able to do your stuff, you know. So for the most part, though, you have the scenario there. So you have like, this is you know, it's making it, all right. So definitely, keep writing in the chat. Keep telling me more stuff in the chat, like good stuff, you know. Don't tell me the foolish stuff like that, because I mean, it's like, you know, really, guys. Like I said before, I'm not from this country. I'm from another country. So you guys are just, you know, dumb with your comments. But be good with a good comment. Give me some good comments so I can comment or conversate with you, and we can talk about stuff, you know. Anyway, so what happens is that here is the person, right? And so it's gonna go ahead and flesh her out, give her some more details. So yeah, so for the most part though, yeah, what happens is like if you wonder what I'm doing, I'm trying to make a sculpture for a person I hope to meet on Saturday, if I get a chance to meet them. If I don't meet them, then pretty much it'll be an exercise in art. And you know, you must always practice your art every day. That's one of the things. When I say that between the people who are good at something and excellent at something, who are masters at something, they practice every day. So if you're going to become a master at your artwork, you're going to have practice every single day by just kind of spending like 5 minutes on it. Like if it's music, keep playing music. If it's cooking, keep working or cooking. See, I'm getting down to the bare bones. You see that I'm getting down to the bare bones. Imagine I'm doing this with sunlight in my face, right? There's sunlight in my face the whole time. And it's like this kind of thing. One time I just blindfolded and I was able to see that how this all worked out, you know? And so this is how it, like, you know, it works. Oh, people got some weird looking dogs, man. Anyway, so yeah, so let's go ahead and I might have to actually look at a reference photo to see what, you know, what's made of. But for the most part, this is like the scenario there. Able to make a person, and they're thinking of making a voodoo doll or something, you know? Let's see. My goodness. So here we go. So this is what we have so far, all right? And give her all the front and the back. All right. I have to look at a reference. Let me see. I'm gonna have to look at a reference video. Let me see real quick. Let me do that. My second phone, which is my old phone, this is a phone I have as a backup phone in the event that I need to use something. Okay, this is here. Wi-Fi signal. There's no Wi-Fi signal on. Let me go ahead and put my hotspot on. Man, this phone is hot. Okay. Put my hotspot on real quick. Turn the hotspot. Okay, oh no, come on, hotspot. Come on, hotspot. Nope, my hotspot is not working. Alright, so I have to just not do this. Let me just close that for a second. And I can't find the hotspot. Let me see if I can do it now if I just got the pictures. Let's see what's here. Hotspot. Come on, hotspot. No. Okay, it's not working for that. So I'm gonna have to just not do it. I'm sorry, folks. I'll have to just not do the hotspot thing. Oh, you're just wondering, I made a masking tape phone holder. So the phone is being held by a masking tape. You can see the shadow of it. It's being held on the back of my rear view mirror. And the rear view mirror is when it has the you can see you can see the size of it, how it is. So I have to make it so it can actually charge the battery if I need to, which it does, and then also be able to stay local, which it did, and then also it can be high enough for me to see it, which it is, and be able to hold it steady so when I'm sitting in the car I can sculpt, have my hands free, and be able to make this art for you guys to see. So yeah, so anyway, so yeah, I hope to have like 100,000 subscribers. I hope to have so many people come and join my art and be able to see the stuff that we're doing, and then not only that, but to be able to, like, you know, encourage and be encouraging, and eventually might have to do a coaching session too, do some coaching work, because that's kind of the thing now. Everybody's doing coaching, and so I have a channel, my Patreon. You can find my coaching, my stuff, not the coaching, but my classes and how to do stuff. I'm gonna actually teach how to do a class. I'll be doing class work and stuff like that this Saturday. So again, if you want to come join the class, you can feel free to do that, because that's kind of where I have it, you know. So I'm about to run out of tape. When I run out of tape, oh, look, see, I've reached. This is the end of the tape. See that? It's the end of the tape roll. So this is how much I have for this one. I mean, I have another set of tape that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna give her some more muscles and stuff in her legs, and I have to go, because you have to know the size and proportion of a person to be able to do this properly. Not to mention, you also know how the word anatomical muscle references go to the physiological reference of where the muscles and the musculature of a human being is, in order for you to properly have the right way about doing this. So the thing is, like, you know, I heard there's gonna be some kind of phenomenon tonight, by the way. Just subject change real quick. There's some kind of phenomenon in the sky, some kind of something. It's supposed to be like some kind of, like, I don't know what it is. The news never said what it was. So because of that, it's supposed to be like maybe some kind of a comet or something is supposed to be seen tonight, or meteorites or something like that, or, you know, or meteor shower, you know, something like that. But for the most part, I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm not sure exactly what it is, and about to run out of tape. And that's it. This is the end of the roll. There you have it, folks. The end of the roll. So this is what I was able to make. So on this one roll of tape, right, I was able to make several things, several characters, several creatures. And that's what happens. Like, once you know how to use tape well, you can actually make a bunch of stuff on one tape. And this is like your printed money. It's like masking tape art. It's like you're printing money. If you know how to do it, you can make your own money, and you can have people pay for different types of sculptures and or commission projects. So this is something for me. It's really cool. So I still have this tape now. I have the thin tape, which is like being able to switch up. This is something there. So I'm going to switch up to a smaller tape and see if I can just go ahead and add the finer details to this person. So I'll be able to finish whatever I'm trying to do regarding this with the second row of tape. Right? So I'm going to go ahead and give her the muscles. I have to give her the shoulders and the muscles. Right? And I got to figure out her hairstyle. Her hairstyle was something interesting too from the show. Whew, what time is it? Okay, so 55 minutes. Oh, I've been going live for 55 minutes. All right, so what I'll do is I'll continue to work on this and until my time is up. Usually I always keep it for about an hour, unless I have some really good conversation happening, which I'm not getting any good conversation today for some reason. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just, wow, that's a cool dog. That's a cool big dog. Wow. That's a cool big dog. So it's like, I'm telling you, it would be so cool if you could walk around like your own pet dinosaur or something like that. Domesticated dinosaur, like Barney or like Dino. Wilma. So anyway, so what happens is like I say what happens is like a lot, don't I? I say like I always have once a year I get like a new catchphrase or something, and so this catchphrase is like, it seems like, or like I forget now. I'm thinking about it. I forget what it is because I do it automatically. You have one of those things where you kind of talk and you don't think about stuff, and then what happens is like when you start thinking about it, you can't remember what you're saying because you're thinking about it. So people are walking and dragging their feet or something. That's like the worst, most annoying sound because they're grinding down their their shoes. I don't even know. Anyway, so here we go. So for the most part, though, this is one of those things where it's like, you see I'm making her hands, getting her hands all completed. I don't know what you guys can actually see because I know the sun's like, it's blooming out the whole imagery. But for me, I can't even look because like the sun's in my eyes, and but the rearview mirror is blocking the sun. In a few more minutes, it's gonna go behind the church building, and so you'll be able to see. See, so that kind of fix your shoulders up a little bit, fix your posture. So you have the posture. Right. So I'm going to give her some knees and better hips. So anybody gone to the beaches this summer yet? I already went once. Yeah, went once. And we went to Coney Island, and we don't ever swim in Coney Island because I think Coney Island is filthy. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I don't like the water in Coney Island. I just don't. I mean, people say around New York you shouldn't really swim anyway, but I mean, some water is so much better. Like the beach that we go to, it's so nice. It's so nice and it's so secluded and like, nobody's there. And I like that because we go to a beach where there's too many people, like the infamous or the very famous Jones Beach. Everybody goes to Jones Beach, and they love to. And also there's Fire Island here in New York, and there's also places they go to, and Robert Moses, different ones. But for us, that's just too far away. So we found ourselves a beach that's really close by. It was one of the guys used to go to our church. He put us onto it. He's since passed away. He died before the pandemic and stuff. And what happened was like it was sad when he found out about that because he was like he was a person who was willing to fight for people and let people know the truth about stuff. And it was kind of interesting actually, very interesting to actually have a person that was willing to stand up and fight the pastor, fight the pastor in the church. Not like fight the pastor like punch him up or nothing, but more like we have a verbal argument with him. And because most people are like, oh, what are you saying? It's like the pastor's like the pope or something, And so what ended up happening was like he was able to fight and to stand because some kind of controversy was happening in the church situation. Anyway, long story short, without getting too much detail, this scenario happened where this guy, he showed us about the this really cool church, a really cool beach, and we fell in love with the beach, and so we go back to it like every so often. It was so like free and happy and wow, it was like a an optional type beach, and so because of that, it was actually we fell in love with that, honest, and it became one of those things where it's just like it's a really nice place, and then not too many people go there. And they changed it up some. Before we used to be able to park in one area, now you had to park another area and walk. And it kind of works out really good because when you do that, you have like depends on the time you go. If you go a certain time, you have to pay. If you go a certain time, you don't have to pay. And if you go a certain place a certain time of the year, you can go and just park anywhere and nobody cares. But if you go and then you have to you have to go to a thing, then what happens is like you're in a situation where you have to pay for the whole like parking permit for the whole season, and that could be anywhere from $60 to as much as just as much as how much you pay for a ticket if you don't pay for it, because the ticket's like $60 too. So anyway, so now I don't know how it is. They've changed things up. Everything's been changed. So when you have that scenario and the situation, you kind of put in a place where the art that you do is or yeah. So anyway, so long story short, yeah. So I say long story short too much, but okay. So here it goes. So for the most part, though, I'm just almost done, and we're at the 1 hour marker. And so again, I like when people give me good conversation to talk about. Please give me content. Please talk with me. But also that, if you're interested in a sculpture, you can find me on Instagram. Instagram, One Life Must Art. One Life Must Art. One O-N-E 1 L-I-F-E 1 Life Must M-U-S-T Art. Right, you'll find me on Instagram, and there you can find some of this cool artwork that we do. You can also probably see me finish up this sculpture for Miss Parsons or Mrs. Parsons, depending if she's married or not. I don't know. For the most part, though, hopefully it'll be there, and hopefully you'll be able to see me give it to her, because I'll probably do a video or a screenshot or something and give it to her, because it's the coolest thing when you get a little trophy of yourself, a little sculpture of yourself. As a matter of fact, I have that as an option. If you're interested in wanting to have one, I can do that. I can actually make a trophy for you, a trophy of you, even painted gold. But thing is, yeah, I can do that. And you can let me know if you want one or you're interested in that. You can find me on my Instagram page, One Life Must Art. You can find my Patreon page. My Patreon is also One Life Must Art. It's patreon.com/One Life Must Art. One Life Must Art. Why did I get that, by the way? How to get the One Life Must Art? It was like, right now I can't really remember how it is. I'll tell you later when I remember. But like right now it's just like something where it's like it was one of those things that just kind of it kind of found itself, like most things. Most things find themselves, Most things in life find themselves. It's not like you find it; it finds you. When you're making a sculpture, the sculpture kind of makes itself. You kind of have a basic idea what you want to do, but as you're going, it kind of like tells you what it needs. It says, okay, you need to add more hips here. You need to add more meat here. You need to add more details here. You need to add like a curve, or you need to have wings or something, And so as you're doing that, it starts to transform. And it's telling you what it needs. It's like that thing in Speed Racer where it says, car's no dead piece of metal, car's alive. Like I sit there and I listen to my car. This is my car here, right? I listen to this car, and it tells you what it needs. If it winds a certain way, it needs a certain kind of thing. If it accelerates and it hiccups, it needs a certain kind of thing. If it makes a certain kind of sound, it needs something. And because it needs something, you know how to fix it. So that's something there. So yeah, so this is the kind of thing, just let you see how I make stuff. But when I do my classes are more, you see my hands working, and it's more direct. You can actually see, you see less of me and more of it, but you can see that I'm actually the one making this from scratch. So let's see. So you have that, right? Person. Very detailed person. Right. Oh, we also do birthday parties too. Birthday parties, and we do adult parties. Like, not adult parties like bad, but adult parties like therapy almost, where we kind of sit around and just talk and sit with a roll of tape and just make stuff. That in of itself is also a blessing, because you're not like doing anything bad. You're not conjuring up any kind of wickedness, not partaking of wickedness. You're just sitting there and we're talking to adults who are really stressed out. We're all pretty stressed out. People are. was talking to my friends, and they're very stressed out about certain things they're going through. I mean, everybody's stressed out about certain things they're going through. You know, we all need a little bit of a break, and that's why it's like I say, whenever you make something with your hands, you make something and you do something, you make a cake, or you cook, or you draw, or you write a story. When you do something with your hands, that's good, and you're able to make something and you bless somebody else with, so that you make. It's like it's great, there's it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So there you have that. So you have a person that's there, that's being made. And again, thank you again for all your likes and all your comments and all your support. Again, thank you so much for that. All right, so what I have is just a few more things. I'm not when I guess when I get to 110, 110, I'll pull the chat and be done. I'll be done with the sculpting for the day and proceed to ending my live stream. But until then, just keep watching. I'm gonna see if I can make it really cool. So here we got. This is a lizard. You got a lizard, right? And this is a person. This is a lizard the size of a person, right? And this is I also have the axolotl. Axolotl is Axel. So Axel and Lizardo are here, and they were doing the deliveries with me today. And so here's pretty much a person that I'm making, and I'm gonna see if I could just go ahead and just do some more details to it to make it better. See, people in the back, you have this line. This line on your back, like it splits your backbone in half, and it kind of curves outward, right, in the back. And so I'm gonna add some more meat to that. And how you do that is, I'm not gonna tell you how I do it, because this is not my coaching session. They say don't tell your secrets. You show people, they can watch you do it, but they won't know how you do it. And especially when you're talking and doing it, some people can't talk and do things like this. It's hard to do that. So when you're able to make something and talk while you're making something, it's kind of mesmerizing for people. I'm not sure if it's like, there's so many things to talk about. Oh my word, there's so many things to talk about, but I just don't like talking so much about politics. I used to before, when I thought it made sense and I thought it would help, but now that I realize that it doesn't really help, and they're going to do whatever they're going to do anyway, it just doesn't quite help to talk about stuff that is not going to assist the betterment of mankind, especially when there are these people in violation of the constitutional agreement that we have with them and their oath of office, and then it's just like nobody seems to do anything about it. The only person that did something about it, they tried to, they just tried to mess him up. So here I'm going to make her head a little bit bigger. I'm going to make it rounder, and then from there I'm going to go ahead and see what happens. All right, so 107, I'm going to make it rounder. Then we're going to add her nose and her hair. The thing is, like, should I make her face? I mean, let me know, should I make her face, or should I just make, should I make her face, or should I make it like a, like here's like a rounder head. Like face with details, or should I just make it like just one of those like mannequins type things that doesn't have a face? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the chat. I'll never forget. I went to a figure drawing class, and it was my friend Andy. He'll always say about this. We went to a figure drawing class, and in the situation, you had it where we were it was all quiet, everybody's all drawing, and I'm making this sound, and it's really cool. You have 100 people making the sound at the same time. I'm gonna probably make like a rap song to it. I don't know. It's just like it could rap. It could make music. It could. The DNB drum and bass active online. He did that. He actually made a not rap song, but I guess EDM music or house music or drum and bass with tape. They were like, and he was like making some noise, and I was like, oh my word, it was so cool. Anyway, what time is it? Okay, 109. Okay, in just about another 30 seconds, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the chat. And you think her arms are too short? Her arms are too short for her body size? It looks it. I'm gonna have to give her more of a shoulder to counteract. And then, see, you have that. You can actually twist the person. And that you see, like you have to keep like a dynamic pose. See, look at that. That's like dynamic pose. Dynamic pose. Oh wow. Dynamic pose. All right, folks. I just want to say thank you so much for watching my channel today. I wish you all the best. God bless you. And I hope that you are able to find what you're looking for, but definitely that you're able to do all the cool art that you want to do. Thank you for supporting me with your likes and your subscribing, and also for your thumbs up and everything. Really appreciate that. I hope that you're able to, again, do the art that you like to do. For all those who watch, and the 41 people who are still watching, I want to say I appreciate you all for your longevity and your continuation with me. So I wish you all the best. God bless you. Please like and subscribe to my channel. You can find more of my work on Patreon. My Patreon channel. Also, you can find more of my work on my members channel. I have a bunch of videos that no one's ever seen on my Patreon, as well as on my my members channel here on YouTube. So thank you so much. My member channel is about somewhere around $2.99 to $4.99. I'm not sure what it is, but my Patreon is $5.99, $5 a month, $4.99, $5 a month, and you can learn as much as you can how to do sculpting, mass tape art, how to spin tape and make beautiful art that can mesmerize your friends, as you can do cool things like have a human being like flying, I'm flying, I'm flying. So anyway, that's it. I wish you all the best. God bless you, and peace. Talk to you soon. All right, have a good day. God bless you.